I think that the European economy is obviously one of the biggest trading partners in the world. It's a very open economy. So obviously it has been impacted negatively by all these elements that have been highlighted by the IMF. In particular, trade slowdown, trade conflicts, tensions, also some financial instability in a number of emerging economies. So from this point of view, I would not say that we have missed an opportunity, but rather that we couldn't avoid being impacted negatively by these international trends. Now, on the other hand, you're absolutely right that monetary policy has been very accommodative for the last years. There is a growing consensus that the margin for further action is coming to an end. There are some discussions on whether there is a margin or not, but everybody, I think, broadly agrees that we cannot count on monetary policy being more expansionary going forward, and that the impact, the effectiveness of that policy is becoming marginally less relevant. So it needs to be accompanied by fiscal policy and structural reforms. This growing consensus needs to be projected in actual action. No? But there are some encouraging signs. The managing director has highlighted the willingness of large economies like Germany to actually use their margin to push the economy, to make it grow faster next year. And I think we have to hope that if elements of uncertainty like Brexit or like the trade disputes are calming down, and if large motors, dynamic motors like Germany start to grow faster, then we can have faster growth in the whole of the EU soon.
Finance Minister Olaf Scholz told CNBC, we're not that keen actually to increase our level of debt. Germany has managed to expand its social welfare spending since at least 2014 with no significant increase in debt. They are a model, aren't they, of how one should prudently manage an economy. Why should Germany bust its balance sheet to bail out those spendthrift nations in the rest of Europe?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way at all, I have to say. But first, I would say that Germany does not need to increase its debt. They have very potent fiscal stabilizers. I am sure that Olaf Scholz, in that same conversation, said we have a margin of maneuver with fiscal policy without having a problem without having the need of increasing our debt to GDP ratio. So I don't think we have to come to this discussion at all. But on the other hand, I find it very awkward that you're trying to portray that there are thrift-tending nations and then others that are less thrifty. I think that we're all together on the same boat. We have to find the way out of this situation and find the way back to stronger growth together. And Germany is quite willing, I think, to continue to be one of the drivers of this process.
And if you'll forgive me, just one more follow-up. Moving together is a terrific idea for Europe. We now appear, as I mentioned in our opening comments, to have the basis of an agreement for Brexit. We'll have to see what happens on Saturday at the special parliamentary session. But do you feel that that could unleash more animal spirits in Europe? It may bring forward some of that deferred capital expenditure that hasn't taken place over the last 3 years.
Well, Brexit has definitely been one of the key sources of uncertainty in Europe and in the whole world. Whenever I speak to investors, they always mention Brexit as one of the Damocles swords which were above us. If we manage to avoid the worst case scenario, a no-deal Brexit, that will remove a very important source of anxiety. And I think it would indeed unleash some dynamic positive forces. I am encouraged by the agreement, but you're right to say we're not at the end of the process. It has shown that the EU was very willing to try to have an agreement, to try to avoid this worst case scenario. Now the ball is on the UK court. I really hope that we manage to find a good outcome, because it will be to the benefit, first, of the UK, of course, but then secondly to all the other nations of the world. It would unleash, you're right to point it out, positive spirits. We really need some positive energy around to compensate, to offset some of the negative news and the negative dynamics that have been set in motion in the last months.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.